all students of class 10th. Again we are here with a new video, and in this video we are going to revise the chapters from the beginning, because we had completed all the chapters which are the part of a syllabus physics. So those who have not started, those who have joined new here in the group, they first watch the previous videos. You can find on my channel, you can find in the link given in the groups also. So first watch that chapter video, then come on this revision video. So we are going to start this revision. First chapter, electricity. Let us start the topic. We are covering 3 topics in this video, and you are getting 3 days to solve the 3 ASMs for these 3 topics. Electric current. This was the topic we are discussing here, and it is also in the previous video, but again few student has told that they are wanting few points on this, so I am starting this topic, electric current, in this second revision video. So it is a rate of flow of electric charge, or we can say electrons, through a conductor, and I is equal to Q upon T. And what is Q? Q is equal to NE, where N is the number and E is the charge of electron and T is the time. And I stand for the current. Electric current is a scalar quantity. Its SI unit is coulomb per second, or we can say ampere, and symbol is capital A. It is measured by a device called ammeter. Its direction is taken opposite to the flow of electron, and it flows as a result of potential difference across the end of the conductor. If there is no potential difference, the charge will not flow. So we can say that the charge will flow due to the potential difference across the end of the conductor. And if you see the diagram, in the direction of electron, where the electron is flowing, that is negative. Opposite to that, we are taking the direction of current. Next is electric field. What is electric field? It is a 3-dimensional space around the charge in which the force of attraction or repulsion can be felt. Means the area around the charge, 3-dimensional space around of any charge where the force of attraction or repulsion of the charge can be felt, that area is known as electric field of that particular charge. Electric field intensity. It is the force experienced by unit positive charge when placed in a magnetic field. It is, in the place in a electric field, you write here electric field. It is wrongly written magnetic field. It is electric field. So again I am saying it is the force experienced by a unit positive charge when it placed in an electric field. And the symbol of electric field is capital E. SI unit of electric field is Newton per coulomb, and it is a vector quantity. Means the direction of the field is where the positive charge is moving. In the direction of positive charge, the electric field is there. Means for the positive charge, electric field is away from the charge. For negative charge, electric field is towards the charge. Now electric potential and potential difference. What is electric potential and potential difference? Electric potential is the amount of work done in bringing a unit positive charge from infinite to a given point in the electrical field, and it is a scalar quantity. Its SI unit is joule per coulomb, or simple we can say volt, and the symbol is capital V. So for the positive charge, electric field is outward from the charge, away from the charge. And if you bring any charge in the field of this positive charge, what amount of work is to be done on that charge? The work and the value of charge, if you divide, you will get the potential at that point in the field. And the symbol is volt. Symbol is V and the unit is volt. Now what is the difference? Potential difference. It is the amount of work done in bringing a unit positive charge from one point to another point in an electric field. It is a scalar quantity. Its SI unit is joule per coulomb, or simple volt, and the symbol is capital V. It is responsible for the flow of current in a conductor, and it is measured by a device called voltmeter. If you see there is 2 point A and B, and the difference in bringing the charge from at this point is known as potential difference. Next is Ohm's law. All these things we had discussed in the chapter videos. Now here we are revising, so I'm just giving you the points. If you had not watched that previous video, you have to go through the video also, and after that you revise this. In this revision video, I am just taking the points which is very important for your answers. So what is Ohm's law? It was stated by George Simon Ohm. The name of the scientist, George Simon Ohm. It states that at constant physical condition like temperature and are kept constant, then the amount of current flowing through a conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference across its end. Means if you keep all the physical condition constant like temperature and pressure, and if you keep a conductor and you apply the potential difference, then the current will flow proportional to the potential difference. Means as you increase the potential difference, the amount of current also increases. So I is proportional to V, or we can say V is equal to IR. R is the proportional constant. It is also known as resistance, and according to this law, conductors are divided into ohmic conductor which follow Ohm's law and non-ohmic conductor which do not follow Ohm's law. There are two types of conductor, ohmic conductor and non-ohmic conductor. So the ohmic conductors are those which follow Ohm's law, and non-ohmic are those which do not follow Ohm's law. So if you draw the graph between current and potential difference for the conductor, if you find a straight line, that conductor is following Ohm's law because I is proportional to V, and if the graph is not a straight line, it is a curve anywhere, so it is non-ohmic conductor. So by the drawing the graph, we can distinguish the two type of conductors, ohmic and non-ohmic. So ohmic we are getting a straight line, and in non-ohmic we are getting a curve. So this is the point how can we distinguish between ohmic and non-ohmic conductor. It is an important question also, how can you distinguish between ohmic and non-ohmic conductor. So you can write that when the graph is between I and V is drawn, if we are getting a straight line, that conductors are ohmic conductor, and in which we are not getting a straight line, that are non-ohmic conductor. Next is resistance and resistivity. What is resistance and resistivity? So resistance is the hindrance, or we can say obstacle in the flow of charges. So it is defined as a hindrance to the flow of current. It is a ratio of potential difference to current, that is R is equal to V upon I, and the SI unit is volt per ampere, or we can say ohm. It is the symbol you see here, omega. Reciprocal of resistance is called conductance. Means अगर हम resistance का उल्टा सोचें तो conductance. So reciprocal of resistance is called conductance, denoted by C, and the unit is per ohm, or we can say ohm to the power -1, or in the symbol also you can write omega to the power -1. Where the resistance is high, the current will be low, and where the resistance is low, there will be high current. So we can say the good conductors have low resistance and bad conductor have high resistance. Resistance is simply the obstructions or obstacle in the flow of charges or in the flow of current. Now factor affecting the resistance is depend on the length, and it is directly proportional. Means if you increase the length, resistance increases. The second is resistance is inversely proportional to area of cross section, means thickness. If the thickness increases, the resistance decreases. If the thickness decreases, means that if the wire is thin, the resistance is more, and if the wire is thick, the resistance is less. So if you see the first and second equation, from that you can change it into the R is proportional to I upon L upon A, or we can say R is equal to rho L upon A, where rho is a constant and it is called specific resistance or resistivity of the conductor. If you see the diagram also, if the length between the conductor is L, area is denoted by capital A, and the resistance is R, so R is equal to rho L upon A. If you take the length 1 meter, if you take the area of cross section 1 meter square, then the resistance is equal to resistivity. So specific resistance is the resistance of a conductor of unit length and unit cross section area. That is, if L is equal to 1 meter, A is equal to 1 meter square, then R is equal to rho. This symbol rho, it's also called specific resistance or resistivity. And the resistivity depend on the material of conductor. It is denoted by rho. The SI unit of ohm is ohm meter, and the Rho is directly proportional to temperature of the conductor. It is also called resistivity. These are the factors on which the resistivity depends. If you see the table, resistivity table for the different materials, silver, copper, gold, aluminum, tungsten, iron, steel, platinum and lead, if you compare the resistivity at 23 degrees centigrade for the material, in the second also nichrome, coal, germanium, silicon, human skin, glass, rubber, sulfur, quartz, these are the resistivity for the material at 23 degrees centigrade. So if you see that silver, the resistivity is 10 to the power minus 8, again copper minus 8. So these are the resistivity for the conductors, means less resistance. And if you see the rubber, it is 10 to the power 13, sulfur 10 to the power 15, quartz 10 to the power 17, means they have more resistance, means they are a bad conductor. So by the table you can distinguish the good conductor and bad conductor of the substance. Now the type of resistance are there. There is a fixed resistance. The value does not change under the constant physical condition, and they are the set at a particular value. And if you see the first figure, they are the fixed resistance. If I say that these are the resistance of 1 kilo ohm, 2 kilo ohm, 0.5 kilo ohm, means it will be not change. So the variable resistance, as the term is indicate, the resistance vary. Their resistance can be easily changed by changing the area of cross section and length. If you see the next figure, it is a rheostat in which we can change the length of the conductor, we can change the resistance of the conductor as the desired condition. So this is the two picture which is showing fixed resistance and the variable resistance. And this type of resistance you had seen in the electrical component, in the TV, in the any of the electrical component you have seen this circuit is using this resistance. Now what is electric circuit and component? In the previous video I had discussed the component and the symbol also. So here again electric circuit is a closed path in which electric current can flow, is called an electric circuit. Closed path means when the switch is on, the wires are touching each other and there is no air gap, so we can say that is a closed path. So closed path in which the electric current can flow is called an electric circuit. And there are two type of electric circuit. One is open, in which there is no current flow, and closed, in which the current flow continuously. So if you see the two figure, in which one the bulb is glowing and in the second the bulb is not glowing, in which the bulb is glowing if you see the switch is on, and in the second case the switch is off. So when the switch is off, we can say it is a I think it is a wrong figure, in which the bulb is glowing, it is said to be closed circuit, in which the bulb is not glowing, it is a open circuit. So by mistake it was there, you can change it, in which the bulb glows, in which the switch is closed, it is closed circuit, and in which the switch is off, this is a open circuit. Means in the closed circuit current flows, in open circuit current not flows. So the second one figure is the open circuit and the first figure one is the closed circuit. So when you draw it, you can change the name also. These are the electrical circuit symbols you had revised. I think it is from your NCERT also. So you see all the symbols for the electric circuit. Next is measuring devices. Ammeter, it is the device which is used to measure the electric current in the circuit, and it is connected in series in the circuit. Positive side of ammeter must be connected nearest to the positive terminal of the battery, and vice versa. This is the way how to connect the ammeter. If you see the picture, you can understand that how can we connect the ammeter in the circuit. The positive terminal of the battery is connected to the positive of the ammeter, and the negative is connected with the negative of the ammeter. This is known as series. And voltmeter, it is the device by which we can measure the potential difference across the 2 points, and it is connected in parallel. The positive of the voltmeter is connected to the positive of the cell, and vice versa. This is the way how to connect the voltmeter. Next is combination of resistance. The resistance can be combined in two ways. One is series combination, second one is parallel combination. So what is series resistance? When the two or more resistors are connected end to end consecutively and they are said to be connected in series, and when a number of resistors connected in series are joined to the terminal of the battery, then each resistance has a different potential difference across its end, which depend on the value of resistance, but the total potential difference across all ends of all resistors in series is equal. Means when you connect three resistors, suppose three resistors you have connected in series and you had connected with a battery or potential difference, and that is of 6 volt, then the potential across each of the resistors will be different, but the total will be always 6, and current will remain same in all the resistor. So it is very important to note it down. When the resistance connected in series, potential divides across the resistor and current remains same in all the resistance. So this is a way how can we add the resistance series. If you see R1, R2 and R3 is connected with the help of a cell, and if you see the current is flowing in that circuit, the potential across R1 is V1, across R2 is V2 and across R3 is V3, but the total V1 plus V2 plus V3 is equal to V. Means if you add all the potential difference, that will be sum equal to V. So V is equal to V1 plus V2 plus V3, and if you apply the Ohm's law to whole circuit, then you can find V1 is equal to IR1 because current remains same, V2 is equal to IR2, current remains same in there also, and V3 is equal to IR3. And if you add total and you place the value, IR is equal to IR1 plus IR2 plus IR3, or you can take common I. So IR is equal to IR1 plus R2 plus R3, and if you cancel out the I, so you are getting the value R is equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3. So we can say the sum or the total resistance in a series resistance is equal to the sum of the all resistance. Means if the resistance 1 is of 1 ohm, resistance 2 is of 2 ohm, and resistance 3 of 3 ohm, and you have to find the total resistance, and you add all the resistance, means 3 plus 2 plus 1 is 6 ohm. So this is the way how can we add the total resistance in the series circuit. Next is resistance in parallel. When the two or more resistances are connected between the same points, they are said to be connected in parallel. When the number of resistances are connected in parallel, then the potential difference across each resistance is same, which is equal to the voltage of the battery applied. It is very different from the series. When you add all the three resistances with the battery or cell, then you find that the potential difference across each is same. In the previous, the potential divides, but here the potential remains same across all the resistance. So different amount of current flow through each resistance. Here the current flow is different, and in that case the current is same. Here potential same, current divide, and in that case the potential divide, current same. So when a number of resistances are connected in parallel, then the sum of the current flowing through all the resistances is equal to the total current in the circuit. Here the total current will be equal to the individual current in the resistance. If you sum all the current in the resistance, then you will find the total current. Here current divides, there potential divides. If you see the circuit diagram of this parallel arrangement, you can see that R1 plus R2 and R3, they are connected with the same point. Plus and minus means all the three have the same potential across their end, and if you apply here I is equal to I1 plus I2 plus I3, and you place the value of I1 is equal to V upon R1, here V same, I2 is equal to VR2, and I3 is equal to VR3, means we are keeping the V same, means potential same, and if you add, if you put in the equation, then you will get the value 1 upon R is equal to 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2 and 1 upon R3, means the total resistance in the parallel resistance connection is equal to sum of the reciprocal of all the resistance. Here the total resistance is less from the smallest one, means सबसे छोटा रेजिस्टेंस अगर यहाँ पे होगा, जो भी होगा उससे हमारा जो टोटल रेजिस्टेंस होगा वो उससे भी छोटा होगा. अगर हमारे पास यहाँ पे 3 रेजिस्टेंस हैं 1, 2 और 3 ओम के, और आप इसको ऐड करोगे तो आपको सबसे छोटी वैल्यू जो 1 ओम है उससे भी छोटा आपको टोटल रेजिस्टेंस मिलेगा. मीन्स हियर द रेजिस्टेंस डिक्रीजेस, and that's why we can say the parallel combination, the resistance reduces and current increases. Now what is the difference in series and parallel? So we can see the series versus parallel. You can note it down also in your copy. This is very important. First is equivalent resistance. Series may more than highest, and in parallel less than the lowest. In series, amount of current less as resistance is more, and here current is more as resistance is more. As resistance is less, you can write resistance is less. If the resistance less, current will be more. switch on off. If one appliance is switched off, other also do not work. But in the case of parallel, if one appliance is switched off, other will do work there independently. Appliance failure, if one appliance stop working, none of the appliance will work. And if in the parallel, if one appliance stop working, then other will work independently, as we are seeing in our houses. If you switch off your TV, then it doesn't mean that the fan and light also switch off. But if you are connected all then in series, so if you switch off your fan, then TV and the tube light also will be switch off. Now potential difference in the series, each appliance receives the maximum potential difference, and here the potential divide. So the I think it is interchange. In the series, the potential remains divided, and in the parallel potential is same at across all the resistance. So today here till here we are ending our video, means up to the series and parallel combination, difference in series and parallel. If you have understand the thing, I again want to say that in the fifth point you have to interchange the thing. It is wrongly written over here. So revise and solve the ASM, revise from the previous video, revise from the chapter video also. And now I think that you are feeling more confident when you are revising the thing. And if you have any problem, if you have any doubt in any of the topic, you are free to call anytime on my number or in the group also. Till then.